pushing the boundaries of expectations and rewriting the rules of adventure are the reasons we get up in the morning. This is a way of life, a huge and growing community of explorers and adventurers, leading the way, blazing new trails, and raising the bar. We share your hunger for a life without limits, and we know you'll stop at nothing to get there.
Greetings and welcome back, KB Creators, for another adventure of attracting our best lives together. I'm Stephen Canyon, and so glad you could join us. StephenCanyon.com is the website, and while visiting, make sure you sign up to receive new insights as I receive them. And also while visiting, knock on the door of our private Facebook group, and you'll be invited in to begin interacting with other kinetic believers. Another great tool for staying motivated in your kinetic belief is by receiving my KB text messages. I love staying personally in touch with all of you. Simply text the word kinetic belief. Nope. Back up. Nope. Text the word kinetic. That.
Yes.
Just by itself. Kinetic, kinetic, to 31996, and you're in. Only available in the U.S. for now. Hello, Miss Meg.
And follow you on Instagram at Stephen Canyon.
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm. Left that out.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
What a marvelous, wonderful
day. We made
day.
it. We did it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
You'll be a year older this year.
Yeah, that's what happens when we go one revolution around the sun.
Ringing in the new year. So excited. And I also got to say that I'm glad we're doing a podcast on New Year's Eve.
It feels right. It feels...
What else are we going to do?
Where are we going? What are we doing?
Go walk around the block.
It's celebratory. It's exciting. I feel like we're spending time with other KBs, which...
Yep. Happy New Year, KBs.
Happy New
all
Year,
of you.
guys. Yeah.
Hug. Group hug.
Group hug. I can feel it.
I just felt it too.
Yeah.
Oh, nice and fuzzy.
I love that.
It's the last day of a prolific year of change, isn't it?
Yes.
And you know what? So I was just thinking that for the KB Creative, this year has truly been a time for us all to be, well, I think, grateful for what we've been shown this year.
Absolutely.
I mean, all the things that we've learned and the directives that we've received, the wisdom for living the abundant life that's been revealed. I am so grateful for 2020 and so excited for 2021.
Isn't that the best thing about gratitude is that there's always something to attach it to. If you have breath in your lungs, there's always something. I just love that. You're never at a loss for gratitude.
Well, just look at how much we have grown in the last 12 months.
It's
the
amazing.
Things that we know now, the perspective that we have on life, the universe, each other, our friends and our family.
Yeah.
I am so grateful.
So many. I am too.
Thankful.
So many lessons learned. I feel like we're operating on a higher plane of living, higher than ever before.
On a higher plane of living. And that brings me to today's topic of the podcast, Doing It for Love. The title of today's podcast. And I've been thinking about, all the things that we do for love. And that's the way of life for the KB Creative. And I'm going to ask you a question, and proverbially, you a question. Are you energetically stagnant or flowing?
Great question.
Because that is the question we should be asking ourselves every day. Am I stagnant or am I flowing in energetics? Am I flowing to attract my life's best expectations?
Yes.
My life's quest is to unite the fundamental forces of nature with the universal quantum substance of observation. And it's what we call belief into a single unified theory of creation. And kinetic belief is the practical application for using the law of attraction to fundamentally, literally manifest anything that we desire in an effective way. The theoretical physicist's passion is to understand how it is that nature works. Why is, for example, water water? Why do stars shimmer at night and mountains rise toward the sky? What is thought, and where does matter come from? Who are we to even speculate about all these things? One of the most extraordinary feats of human awareness is that researchers have actually answered some of these scientific and philosophical questions while questioning nature directly, most famously at CERN, and while playing with the world's largest particle collider to figure out how it is that the smallest particles in the universe behave while being observed. And the answers that they are finding are more and more they're becoming a consensus with experimental physicists, theologians, spiritualists, philosophers. The law of kinetic belief represents a major dream of theoretical physicists, and it's a description of all forces and matter in one equation. The insight's creating a deep imprint on both physics and the world's thought disciplines. And like it or not, and I got to tell you, some certainly don't like it, but kinetic belief is here to stay. And kinetic belief combines a quantum entanglement theory with the law of faith. By assuming that there are multiple ways to willfully change the universe around us, and we do it through observation. And it's with experiential knowledge in quantum theoretical physics and philosophy and spirituality that I personally, worked on and founded kinetic belief, and which just simply says this, that there is one substance for all things which fills the inner spaces of the universe. And the quantum bias of every life form, it entangles with this substance to advance life, and we see it in plants and flowers. There is a life force in a flower that's entangling with the quantum substance for life that attracts life to that flower. Well, kinetic belief is the creative authority of spiritual beings while having a natural experience to be able to willfully exercise dominion over the substance for advancing the mind, body, and soul toward perfected completion. So energy which responds to belief is like water in that it's either stagnant or it's flowing. Which type of water source, for example, would you want to drink from? While stagnant water promotes disease-carrying bacteria and just a lot of nasty stuff, we don't want to sip from that. Flowing water is a pure, continual source of life-giving renewal and refreshment. Well, the same is true of kinetic belief. See, stagnant belief becomes stale and it doesn't attract the flourishing, abundant life.
Stagnant or flowing, that's such a good visual, of our state of being, isn't it? I mean, if we weren't expecting things to actually be different, then, what you're saying is we're energetically stagnant and we're not even in a position to attract anything new or different to actually, show up in our lives.
Well, and we both have talked about it all the time. We know people that their lives have been stagnant. And they're having the same conversations around the dinner table now that they did 5 years ago. And
I have to say that stagnation, it is something that nothing is neutral, and so that actually worsens over time. That's why it's always good to sort of nip these things when you sense it happening or you sense that it's been happening for some time. You mentioned, stagnant water. Think of a pond. Week 1, it's got the goldfish in there. It's looking pretty good. But week 60, it's not a nice place to hang out. And
it's true for the physical body as well. And we know that in exercise, we're mostly made up of water. 80-some% of our body is water. Yeah. And the person that doesn't exercise, it's shown that you're just like a pond of water that becomes stagnant and unhealthy. Wow. And that's why exercise is so important to flow.
Yes.
There's no expectation for something new if we are stagnant. There's no gratitude for the expectation of more, so desire has grown cold. There's no action of belief that's been imagined because a gaze toward the horizon of possibilities has just been cast down. And you can see somebody like that. They've lost their enthusiasm. There's not a bounce in their step anymore. And when they get up in the morning, they're just not excited about anything, really.
Right.
Do you remember the movie Everything Must Go? Do you remember that?
Will Ferrell?
Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember? He played a...
that was funny.
Well, in a pathetic sort of way.
Yeah.
He played a salesman who had seen his better days. He's no longer at the top of his game. He's an alcoholic, loses his job for showing up drunk one too many times. And when he returns to his suburban Phoenix home, his wife has dumped him from their marriage. And she's changed the locks on the door, frozen the bank account, tossed all of his possessions out on the front lawn. And what does he do? He's stagnant. He reacts by doing exactly what he had planned to do had he been able to get into the house. He sits down in his recliner out on the front yard. He opens up the little refrigerator and drinks his way through a case of beer.
It is
Repetition. Because it's Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
But that's a perfect example. As funny and pathetic as that is, belief is in constant motion when it is unwavering and not given into being double-minded by considering negative outcomes. It contains the kinetic energy of life, which attracts life and a continual flow of manifesting desires. But getting results, it requires that kinetic belief becomes a meditative way of life. There's no way to sidestep this. It doesn't overtake you. Just because we want something doesn't mean something's going to come to us. We've got to stir it up. Get rid of this stagnant expectation and create that flow, and being consciously constant, continually mindful in our imaginative feedings. That's what attracts success. This is what it means, being in the flow.
Isn't that it? Just staying mindful to what we're feeding on, what we're expecting. It's going to attract our success, but this requires, like you're saying, just doing it on purpose.
Yeah. For example, people who eat every now and then just a little bit, and without regard to the quality of the food, they continue to live, but they won't be in very good health. They'll become malnourished.
Maybe think of college.
In college, you remember how malnourished you were?
You took me back.
Yeah, but you become weak, and as a result, you lack in happiness and joy and a vibrance for living. Yes. So it begins to go in many different directions, and the same is true for the power of belief. We can keep it alive, but it won't be intensely thriving. It'll not be attracting and growing or manifesting desires if it isn't fed properly and continually.
I like the idea of our belief thriving, almost as if it's an entity outside of us. I really like that visual that you're giving. And
it is. Remember, half of the equation is thriving outside of us.
Yeah.
And it's through the power of belief that we're attracting the substance of belief.
Yes.
So it's like brushing our teeth. We are continual in the care and the attention that we give to our teeth. So, hopefully. And so we, in the same way, we give that same kind of attention to the purity of our expectations daily. Brush your teeth, think about your expectations, and purify that, stirring up through journaling and speaking affirmatively what we choose to believe. Practically speaking, how do we do this? We approach our kinetic belief every single day, just like a professional athlete does their sport. You're not a professional athlete of any caliber on accident, or because every once in a while you feel inspired to go out here and do something remarkable. Yeah. Athletes can lose motivation, they can lose focus, they can lose determination. In fact, stress and anxiety can cause physical changes in the body and cause it to begin to break down. Stress can cause muscle spasms, and stress and anxiety usually take the place of motivation. If there's not any motivation there, stress and anxiety takes its place. Motivation, which is also the emotion of gratitude, by the way, displaces stress. A person who remains and stirs up gratitude removes stress from their lives and anxiety from their lives. Motivation is the focus, and it is the intensity of every professional athlete's effort. And so the most common thought that motivates professional athletes is this. They are told by coaches, their trainers, and this is the most common way of motivating a professional athlete. They are told to do it for love. Think about that. Wow. Do it for love. They're reminded to do it for the love of your sport. Do it for the love of the team. Do it for the love of your family. Do it for the love of money. Just do it for love. So I would say to you today, if you are stagnant rather than flowing, fall deeply in love with you. Love your book project. Love your sport. Fall in love with the lifestyle that you are imagining going into this new year. Love you. Love yourself. Love yourself unconditionally. Stop disapproving. You are perfect because you are different. You are perfect because you are a little strange and you are kind of weird. And you are to be loved first by you, and more love will then follow. You are to be loved first and last by you. Read what you've been writing in your manifesting journal. That is a love letter to you. Stir up gratitude for yourself. Stir up gratitude for your dreams and for this new year. Listen to teachings and attend conferences. Do it online if you can't do it in person. But share what it is that you are learning about yourself and share it with other people. And not for them to approve of you, because you love you and you approve of you. But look, do something every day to feed your articles of faith, which are your chosen desires that celebrate you. Apply an unction that moves you toward what it is that you are desiring to attract. Because guess what? You're in love. You are in love. And you do these things and your kinetic belief will begin to flow in ways you've never experienced it before. And allow it to flow, to manifest your best life and to attract the success of your love all of the time, not just part-time, but every day. Stir it up. You are a professional athlete of kinetic belief, in love with yourself. Let it flow. Just say this aloud. Say, I'm beautifully made from the substance of great wealth.
I am beautifully made from the substance of great wealth.
Great health.
Great health.
And wisdom.
And wisdom.
I am these things.
I am these things.
Therefore, I am these things.
Therefore, I am these things.
I'm flowing in the direction of well-being.
I am flowing in the direction of well-being.
Which flows to me.
Which flows to me.
I am optimistically happy.
I'm optimistically happy.
Because love dwells within me.
Because love dwells within me.
I don't have love.
I don't have love.
I am love.
I am love.
I am mastering the universe around me.
I'm mastering the universe around me.
Whatever I unwaveringly choose.
Whatever I unwaveringly choose.
To believe attracts the abundance of who I am to me.
To believe attracts the abundance of who I am to me.
A wonderment for observing the beautiful, abundant life around me.
A wonderment for observing that beautiful, abundant life around me.
It increases my awareness.
It increases my awareness.
It strengthens my body.
It strengthens my body.
And satisfies my soul.
And it satisfies my soul.
I'm excited to be devoted to my legacy life goals.
I am excited to be devoted to my legacy life goals.
I choose my purpose.
I choose my purpose.
Over all other purposes.
Over all other purposes.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful
that every obstacle is removed from my journey.
It's removed from my journey.
I choose on this New Year's Eve no fear while believing in me.
I choose on this New Year's Eve no fear while believing in me.
I am a positive light for those that know me.
I'm a positive light for those that know me.
And for those that meet me.
And for those that meet me.
And for all of those that will never see me again.
All of those that will never see me again.
I'm doing it for love.
I'm doing it for love. Wow, what a perfect way to close out this amazing, insightful year and start a new one, doing it all for love. I love all the KBs. I'm still feeling that group hug. How about you?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I really am.
And if you want to check out the new 21-day e-course that is incredibly powerful, it's about abundance and wealth, and what a great way to usher in the new year, you can find that at stephencanyon.com, and you can also find the guided journal there as well, and the Genius of Purpose workbook, and we're adding new things for this new year as well, so keep checking back.
Happy New Year, everybody. Sending out much love to all the KB creatives all around the world.
Yeah, and thanks as usual, Steve. Last time
See
in
all
2020.
Of you next year.
Saying it for the last time of 2020. Thanks as usual, Steve, for all the wisdom.
Bye.